Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Hello, I'm Stephen Willis from the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. He's Tom Vanderford. He comes every week. We got some stuff to talk about. I was beginning to wonder what I thought we were going to talk about the Ole Miss Tennessee game. And then all of a sudden, this Quinshon drama just drops. And I guess we're going to talk about Quinshon Judkins today, honestly.
Yeah, that works for me, man. I like we were talking earlier, I was shocked like a lot of people were, but next up, like you had said earlier today, in the NFL, they always say don't overpay for a running back. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and it's a situation where, listen, before we get started, on the field, Quinshon was a heck of a player. If he would have stayed another year, he would have owned every meaningful rushing record in Ole Miss history. So this is not me minimizing what he did, but you have to Moneyball think this, and you've seen the Moneyball gifts that Lane Kiffin has put up over the year. You probably are not going to have one back that can get 1,250 yards and 15 touchdowns. But I guarantee you, he probably thinks he has three running backs that combined can get 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns.
Exactly.
I think that is the play in this situation. And we were planning on a national championship run 2 days ago. That hasn't changed today. It hasn't.
Not at all, man. As a matter of fact, I think it's increased because, there's no salary cap, but there's an amount that the NIL can afford to spend. And Quinshon going somewhere else. We have hopefully Bentley's coming back. We have Kedrick Riscano. Jam can come back. There are good backs in the portal that'll probably cost a lot less. And that opens up some cap space, if you will, for some big uglies on the offensive line. Maybe North Carolina, the kid from LSU, maybe Percy Lewis, who knows?
I honestly, and I don't know how it works. And Percy Lewis is going to be visiting. Let's see, as you're watching this video, he's visiting today.
Right.
I don't know that Ole Miss is going to end up with Percy Lewis. I think Ole Miss is swimming in the Lance Hurd waters. And
I like those waters.
And now they got this nice influx of money where you can swim in those waters more effectively.
Exactly.
I think that is the play. So nobody needs to freak out if Percy Lewis ends up going somewhere else or something like that. Another thing in the grapevine that I'm hearing, and it's just rumors all at this point, nothing's going on, but Jarquez Hunter might get into the transfer portal and come to Ole Miss.
He's a pretty good back, and he would do good in this offense. I've heard that, and that might happen. You never know. But Lane doesn't seem too worried, does he?
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, and that gives me a sense of ease.
Yeah,
so it's exciting to see, and I'm just looking forward to it. I think, and nothing against Q. Man, I love Quinshon. Yeah. I love him, and he's a great running back. But there comes a time to where you got to fish or cut bait, and that's unfortunately that's how it goes.
Yeah. And for getting his go get yours wherever you can get it. I'm not going to hold that against you.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, the moment you stop being an Ole Miss football player, I don't care.
Yep.
I mean, that
times. That's not just something you came up with today. You've said that many times, and I kind of agree. I'm an Ole Miss homer, and God bless it. If you're a rebel, I'm for you. And if you're not, I'm against you.
Yeah.
So I'll do it.
Yeah. And it's not anything personal. It's just that Ole Miss football player is the designation for you that I care about most, because I don't know you personally. I don't know you everything. That's the only way I know who you are. When you cease to quit being an Ole Miss player, There's another Ole Miss player that's going to take your place. That's the way that works. That's the way
Yep.
Fanhood works.
Exactly. And I know some people were upset and have said some mean things, and that we were talking about this earlier. That's not the route I'm taking, but people that give a lot of money to the NIL or even give a little money to the NIL, we've talked about this before. They've got a stake in this team, a financial stake, and when they're upset, they have the right to speak their minds.
That's the cost of doing business.
Hey, that said, I'll never buy any merchandise with any player's name on the jersey or anything like that because they've got all this Quinshon Judkins stuff, and what are they going to do with it? My suggestion is buy 38 jerseys, and you'll never have to worry about it.
You know what they need to do, and the stores that have the Quinshon Judkins jerseys, they just need to change the name patch from Judkins to Perkins.
That works.
And you'd be good to go.
That works. Of course, my favorite number 4 jersey is
Mr. John Darnell.
John Darnell.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's the man.
I was in Vaught Hemingway Stadium when he threw the touchdown pass to Reed Hines.
Oh yeah. God bless him. I played against him, and he threw a lot of those touchdown passes against us too. So it was a spring game, and they took it easy on us. But yeah, he's something else.
Yeah, so everything's going to get going. We're probably still a week away from everything opening back up, and the last part of January is where Lane Kiffin does probably his best work in the transfer portal.
Oh,
and that's a combination of schools starting, because there's going to be some schools right now that are in spring session. But Ole Miss, you have until like February 2nd.
Right.
On the drop ad. So at the very end, that is the period. So everybody needs to keep an eye on what's going on. Indeed.
Exactly. That was the Dart Trig thing. We got them extremely late. So, and one of those guys worked out and one didn't. I told somebody today, though, I said, don't worry about it. He's got it under control. People are upset when Chris Marshall got booted, and then when Trigg got booted. It's like, dude, he's got to keep the in between the lines, so to speak. He's got to keep the boat steadied, and he's just not going to put up. He'll put up with a little bit of junk, but he's not going to put up with a whole lot.
Yeah, the rumors going around right now, and they are, and I do want to say they are just rumors.
Exactly.
Okay.
Although the post that Dart made was that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Heck, Jordan Watkins retweeted there was a post on Twitter or X or whatever it's called, where it says, it was a State fan that said, Ole Miss fans playoff chances with Q, really good. Ole Miss playoff chances without Q, really good. It's like, and Jordan Watkins retweeted that as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It is.
Yeah, one man does not make a team. One man does not make a team, and we just got to move on. I think we're going to be fine. I've seen people say we'll be better than ever. Who knows? We may be. There may have been a chemistry issue this year that just hid under the lines, and we didn't see it. But I'm excited because you've got extra money, and you can go get some big uglies. And maybe we can convince Saunders to stay for another year. Bentley, I would love to see I'd love to see something pop up with Bentley staying another year. Bentley's a good back.
Yeah, he is.
So I think we're going to be fine, man. Just a small bump in the road, a pebble.
Yeah, it should be quite interesting indeed. Yep. So, the hype train for this team is absolutely going off the charts. Everybody's talking about Ole Miss as a top 5 type team, and they should. It's warranted. How are you handling all this hype, Tom?
I just want at the end of the season, I don't care what seed we are. I just want us to be in the playoffs at the end of the season and then roll them bones. You know what I'm saying? I want us to be in the playoffs at the end of the year, the first ever 12-team playoff. And I think we've got an outstanding shot at that. I think the schedule's good. I don't think people outside of Ole Miss realize how good our defense is going to be next year. You know, they're like, well, they got this kid and this kid. No, Golding has me convinced that he's like a defensive guru. You know, he went out and got exactly what he needed. We haven't been this stacked on defense since 2014, 2015.
No, I would go back to like 1992. The Red Death defense.
I agree with you. I mean, these guys are going to be awesome and deep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cassius Beware, Abdul Jackson. Let's go.
Exactly. Those were the guys when we had the best defense basically in the country. Yeah, those were the dudes.
Turns out the best defense money could buy if you go by the probation we got.
We bought them, but everybody buys them. And this is, I told somebody this the other day, and I'm not trying to get off on a tangent, but people are like, "Oh, Miss is buying players, blah blah blah." I'm like, look, you guys, it's your fault. All you SEC fans of other schools, it's your fault because every time we tried to play the game, and everybody griped and got us in trouble. All of our money people and even us poor folks like you and me said, dude, it's legal now. We're going to buy players. Just get over it, you know? God bless it.
Yeah, and it's gotten to the point where you have a collective. We're completely organized. Who would have thought that in the age of NIL, Ole Miss and Southern Methodist would be the two top dogs in the NIL circuit? We might not be the richest schools out there, but we know how to do this.
We know how to do it, man. And it's really legal. And I always, that's always my retort. Man, I said, dude, it's legal. Quit whining, join the club, get in the game.
Get better or watch. That's what it is. Just get better or watch.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Tom Vanderford in his weekly segment. Thank you for stopping by, man.
Oh, man, it's the highlight of my week, brother. And
mine too. Hotty toddy.